Nelson Molina was a garbage collector for more than 30 years. He's rescued over 50,000 treasures discarded as trash along the way. In fact, his Manhattan-based stash, which he calls a museum, is filled with everything from toys to guitars to windows, typewriters, and more. If he hadn't kept them, they'd sit in a landfill. To Molina, the choice was clear. From random odds and ends to items expensive and rare, he has thousands on display and continues to add more. Let's explore these and other surprises from the trash in this episode of the Infographics Show. Crazy things garbage collectors have found. Molina's museum is located in a Manhattan warehouse on the second story of the Department of Sanitation. Those who enter find themselves surrounded on every side by what others have thrown away. He's got a Star of David made in memory of 9/11, forged from World Trade Center steel. He found a vintage metal reproduction of his Social Security card from the 1930s. He has Star Wars collectibles from the time of its debut, baseball signed by the Yankees' best, and a book with Bette Midler's autograph. A Fender guitar hangs on the wall in a corner Michael Jackson-themed shrine. He appreciates much less valuable items too. He's rescued stained glass windows from a church and even a carved wood chair dampened by rain. Holidays were always especially busy. These are the times when older items are thrown out to make rooms for things shiny and new. As a result, rows and rows of color-coordinated Furbies rest along the shelves. Action figures, big, medium, and small, are piled on a table surface. Toys of every kind imaginable have a place among his displays. A child's dream come true is sitting in his warehouse and was discovered bit by bit in the city trash. To Molina, it's a sad testament to how many things others could enjoy that New Yorkers just throw away. He hopes that those who visit will not only marvel at what he's found, but stop to think about what they should reuse, give away, or recycle. Jose Gutierrez is also a trash collector whose discoveries of thousands of thrown-out books have earned him his own claim to fame. He's known as Colombia's Lord of Books, a title that his job as a garbage man made possible. This is because over 20 years ago he brought home his first book and has continued to save the literature he has encountered since. The ground floor of Gutierrez's home is now a community library with his finds stacked wall to wall. 3 rooms are devoted to nothing but books, 25,000 of them at least, and continue to build up more. Most books are in good condition, discarded in containers separate from the rest of the trash. Gutierrez has found his treasures on routes all around Bogota City. He knows that the richer northern regions are where the rare editions and hardcover versions can be found. He also knows that paperbacks are often tossed in the trash of the South. All are useful in helping the children of his community learn how to read and hopefully end its history of poverty. This dream has become a reality only because of many of the books he's rescued from others' trash. Craig Randall is also a garbage truck driver who sees more in what others dismiss as trash. His fiancée was less than thrilled on the times he brought home an old sewing machine or some books, but when he showed her a Wendy's contest sticker, it was a completely different matter. Randall's good fortune all began when he spotted the Wendy's cup in the back of his truck. He had won a chicken sandwich from a similar cup the week before, so he decided to try his luck once more. He took off the sticker with the hope of scoring some fries. What he found could buy him fries for years. Randall was shocked to read that he'd won a staggering $200,000, though he didn't quite believe it at first. In fact, he tossed the cup, but fortunately kept the sticker. It was his sister who mailed it in to confirm that it was real. It was. He hired legal help, and despite finding the sticker in the trash, he was able to claim the check. Randall, a garbage truck driver who had long dreamed of owning a place of his own, planned to buy a new home on the Cape. In contrast to the others, Peoria disposal company driver Gerald Cummings was used to finding little to be excited about in the garbage. One day, however, he saw a black square that turned out to be a wallet. The wallet had cash and cards inside. Cummings called the office, which contacted the police, and its owner was happily found. To this day, it remains a mystery how the wallet ended up intact in the trash, but his owner has kept it as a memento. He now forgoes wallets entirely, choosing to keep items in his pocket instead. Garbage collector Anthony Jones made a similar discovery to become another person's hero. It wouldn't have happened if the arm of his truck had not malfunctioned. When it did, the trash it held fell to the ground, and Jones began to pick it up. He stopped when he saw envelopes of cash among the mess. An honest man, he returned the $8,500. The owner awarded him with enough to treat himself to the biggest steak he could find, and both were quite thankful that his truck didn't work right that day. While not of any monetary value, another important discovery was made in the garbage of our government. Randy Hopkins, an ex-con employed as a Washington, D.C. sanitation worker, was quite surprised to find the President of the United States itinerary among the trash. The papers held countless details of President Bush's plans to travel to the state of Florida. This included information such as arrival and departure times, as well as who would be aboard Air Force One, Marine One, and their accompanying choppers during the flight. Further, it gave a play-by-play of the president's entire day and the order of the motorcade that would be used to get there. While the document could be dangerous in the wrong hands, the Secret Service denied responsibility for the mistake. They claimed it was an unclassified White House document. However, classified or not, most would agree that it had no place in the trash. Believe it or not, while someone in the White House obviously made a mistake, far worse has happened in the past. Security for Vice President Cheney, for example, once left his protection details behind in a shop. President Bill Clinton's staff took off at one point, leaving the man with the nuclear codes behind. So, while a White House employee clearly forgot to use the burn bag for sensitive documents, in the scheme of things, worse mistakes have been made. In addition to these finds, some collection crews have had the misfortune to come upon some much more unpleasant things. Among these are a monster-sized rat and even deceased livestock such as cows or pigs. At times, cats and dogs have been discovered, many cold and hungry, thrown out intentionally with the rest of the trash. And sometimes, as a New York garbage man can confirm, they may even stumble upon a human leg. Yet others have discovered entire bodies. Sometimes these are victims of murder, as was the case in a landfill where a sanitation worker came upon a body piece by piece. The local sheriff claimed that he had never seen anything quite like it. More than likely, the sanitation worker hadn't either. It was an event that neither will likely forget. Dumpsters are also sometimes the place in which some die for one reason or another. Afterwards, they may be unintentionally picked up. In Wichita, Kansas, for example, a man was found in a bakery dumpster. An autopsy concluded that he had died of natural causes, though no one could figure out what brought him to such an unusual place. Other times, more traumatizing still, the act of collection itself may prove fatal. In some cases, those in the dumpster may be knocked to the ground and run over by the truck. In others, some may die of shock as they're lifted into the air. The situations that occur most frequently are when garbage men tragically compact people along with the rest of the trash. In these cases, they may not find the body until they arrive back at the dump. One man beat all odds and was compacted many times but lived, using a shopping cart as a defense. However, his legs were broken, and because of an infection, part of his right leg was later removed. However, unlike others less fortunate, he had survived. In fact, the sibling of the man who had suffocated in the back of a truck ended up suing the waste management company for indifference to homeless lives. The investigation revealed that as many as 6 others had died in the state within years. However, testimony showed that the garbage truck drivers were not indifferent as alleged, nor were they unaware. In fact, they had begun to shake the dumpsters at pickup to wake those sleeping inside. Unfortunately, such measures must not have been practiced widely enough. While the job of a garbage collector can be exciting and at other times sad, it can be downright dangerous as well. It's all too often that collectors find pieces of drug labs in the trash. One sanitation worker in Evansville, Indiana, was forced to call for help as noxious smells and smoke escaped from his truck. The cause was traced to smoldering pieces of what remained of not one meth lab, but 2. Incredibly, it was the second time this had happened on the same block within a week. Fortunately, in this case, it was caught in time. In other instances, equipment has caught fire in the back of the truck. The reason this happens a lot in some areas is that for each pound of meth produced, approximately 5 pounds of hazardous wastes are made. Combustibles used for meth production include things such as muriatic acid, Coleman fuel, and acetone. These, with the combination of heat or fire, could turn deadly for those driving to a landfill. Fortunately, trash removal employees have had a chance to combat this problem by helping authorities identify those to blame. In Memphis, Tennessee, as many as 31 labs were found after workers noticed a smoking bag in their truck. Experts at their route, they could trace it to where it had come from. Police were then able to survey the residence in order to obtain a warrant and search it. The 2 female occupants were arrested, protecting future garbage collectors from the hazards of their illicit crimes. While many realize that the job of a garbage collector is a hard one, many do not realize that it can sometimes bring quite the reward. Other times it entails a gruesome discovery or, with garbage on fire, can be hazardous to a collector's health. In the United States, the average salary most earn is $40,000. Is that enough? Is it too much? Let's talk for just a few seconds about how we make these videos, since it's a very common question. Besides using Adobe After Effects to animate the videos, we help speed up the process by sometimes using pre-made assets or even templates from Envato Elements. I'm sure you already know websites like Audio Jungle, Video Hive, and Graphic River. Well, Envato owns all of them, and what they did now is pretty awesome. They've compiled almost 1 million assets from all of their sites and are making them available for a small monthly fee. They keep adding more every month. And if you sign up using our link in the description, you'll not only get an unlimited amount of downloads, you'll also support us in the process. Quick note, some vectors and music used in today's video were from Envato Elements. Check them out. Also, be sure to check out our other video called This Is Why You're Fat. Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.